Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. A few weeks back on WWE SmackDown, Paul Heyman refused to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. On social media, the Wiseman confirmed his position with Roman Reigns, whom he considers his tribal chief. Heyman, Reigns, and the Usos were the founders of the bloodline. Following their alliance, the heel faction added Sikoa and Sami Zayn to the group. At WrestleMania XL, Roman lost the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes. The head of the table has been on a hiatus since losing at the grandest stage of them all. On his Instagram story, Heyman acknowledged Reigns as his tribal chief. "I'm sorry, sir, but as the #1 steakhouse in all of Beverly Hills, 1 a.m. reservation is this the Wiseman? I am, indeed, the Wiseman. You may acknowledge the one and only true tribal chief. Wiseman, oh Wiseman, we look forward to serving you and your private party at 1 a.m. Hashtag cut, hashtag Wolfgang Puck, hashtag Beverly Hills, hashtag L4L, hashtag looking for Larry, hashtag King of New York, and everywhere else." Paul Heyman shared. What the future has in store for the Wiseman remains to be seen. Bill Apter commented on Roman Reigns' upcoming WWE return. Paul Heyman was recently put through the announce table by Solo Sikoa and the new version of the bloodline. The Wiseman had refused to acknowledge Sikoa as the new tribal chief. While speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Time Machine podcast, legendary wrestling journalist Bill Apter stated that he was worried for Heyman during the table spot. He also discussed Roman Reigns' upcoming return, claiming he might reunite the original bloodline. Paul Heyman went through the table. "I thought he was gonna have a freaking heart attack. I really did. So I think, similar to the Judgment Day, Roman Reigns is gonna come back and say, 'Yes, I am still your head of the table. Your tribal chief.' And he, and Heyman, Jey Uso, and maybe Jimmy Uso will come back, will have their own bloodline affiliation, and they will feud with the other guys. With the other bloodline. That's what I think is gonna happen," Bill Apter said. Paul Heyman is expected to return to WWE television alongside Roman Reigns. It remains to be seen if the duo will return at the 2024 SummerSlam Premium Live event. In the dimly lit backstage area of a bustling WWE event, Paul Heyman paced nervously, his mind a whirlwind of conflicting thoughts. He knew he had to face the inevitable confrontation with Solo Sikoa, a rising star in the WWE, and the cousin of his client, Roman Reigns. Heyman, usually the master manipulator, found himself at odds with his own loyalties tonight. It all began when Solo Sikoa, with his warrior-like presence and raw intensity, started gaining momentum in the WWE universe. Fans began to speculate if he might challenge Roman Reigns for the tribal chief title, a position that had become synonymous with power and dominance under Heyman's cunning guidance. Heyman had received multiple inquiries from journalists and fans alike, questioning if Sikoa posed a threat to Reigns' reign. He dismissed them with a practiced smile and a deft change of subject, but internally, doubts gnawed at him. He couldn't deny the potential Sikoa possessed, a potential that threatened to upset the carefully orchestrated balance of power he had maintained. As Heyman paced, his phone buzzed. It was a text from Roman Reigns. "Paul, we need to talk." With a heavy sigh, Heyman made his way to Reigns' private locker room, adorned with tribal symbols and accolades from his dominant championship run. Reigns stood by the window, his back to Heyman, exuding an aura of authority that silenced the room. "You've been avoiding the subject, Paul," Reigns stated without turning around. Heyman swallowed hard, his mind racing for the right words. "Roman, it's about Solo Sikoa," he began cautiously. Reigns finally turned to face him, his expression unreadable. "What about him?" "He's gaining traction, Roman. The fans are starting to see him as a legitimate threat to your position," Heyman admitted, choosing his words carefully. Reigns arched an eyebrow, his gaze piercing through Heyman. "And what do you think?" Heyman hesitated, his loyalty torn between the tribal chief he had served so faithfully and the undeniable potential of Sikoa. I think we need to address it, Roman. The longer we ignore it, the more it grows. Reigns stepped closer, his imposing figure casting a shadow over Heyman. You think I'm scared of Solo? He questioned sharply. Heyman shook his head quickly. No, Roman. But ignoring him won't make him go away. Reigns remained silent for a moment, contemplating Heyman's words. Fine. Get him here. We'll settle this tonight. Heyman nodded, relieved that Reigns had chosen confrontation over avoidance. He knew this meeting could determine the future of Reigns' dominance in WWE. With a deep breath, Heyman left to summon Solo Sikoa, knowing that the upcoming interaction would be a test of alliances and ambitions. Solo Sikoa arrived, exuding the confidence of a warrior ready to claim his place among the WWE elite. Heyman led him to Reigns' locker room, where the air was thick with tension. Reigns stood tall, his championship belt gleaming under the lights, a symbol of his unrivaled authority. Solo, Reigns greeted coolly, his gaze unwavering. Samoan dynasty runs through my veins, Roman, Sikoa replied, his voice steady and resolute. But the fans, they want to know who truly stands as the tribal chief. Reigns stepped forward, his presence commanding the room. You think you're ready to challenge me? Sikoa met Reigns' gaze without flinching. I'm ready to prove I'm worthy of the legacy. Heyman watched the exchange, his heart pounding with the weight of the moment. He knew that whichever way this confrontation tilted would alter the landscape of WWE. Reigns and Sikoa were not just battling for supremacy in the ring, they were vying for the soul of their heritage, their legacy, and the very essence of what it meant to be the tribal chief. Reigns finally spoke, his voice low but firm. Paul, confirm my position. Heyman hesitated, caught in the crossfire of conflicting loyalties. Roman, Solo is, Reigns cut him off, his tone sharp. Confirm. My position. Heyman closed his eyes briefly, then nodded solemnly. Roman Reigns is the tribal chief, he declared, his voice carrying the weight of unwavering loyalty. Sikoa's expression hardened, disappointment evident yet respect still lingering. I understand, he said quietly. Reigns nodded once, acknowledging Sikoa's understanding. You have potential, Solo. But know your place. With that, Sikoa left the room, his gaze fixed on the future challenges ahead. Heyman lingered for a moment longer, knowing that tonight's decision would resonate far beyond this encounter. As he left Reigns' locker room, Heyman felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The tribal chief's position remained unchallenged, but the rumblings of change lingered in the air. Solo Sikoa had proven himself a force to be reckoned with, and Heyman knew that their paths would cross again in the inevitable dance of power and ambition that defined WWE. Outside, the arena buzzed with speculation and excitement, unaware of the quiet drama that had unfolded behind closed doors. Heyman glanced back at Reigns' locker room one last time, his mind already strategizing the next move in this ongoing game of power and prestige. In the world of WWE, where alliances shifted like tides and ambitions clashed in the ring, one thing remained certain: the tribal chief stood tall, his position reaffirmed, for now. And Paul Heyman, the master manipulator, would continue to navigate the treacherous waters of loyalty and ambition, ensuring that Roman Reigns' reign remained unchallenged, at least for tonight.